Hello and welcome to another modern gameplay video by Ready Made Gaming. Today we have Jund going up against Green-Red Land Destruction. Each player is going to flash their hand. Jund starts out with a Raging Ravine, a Mishra's Bauble, a Verdant Catacombs, Blackleaf Cliffs, Scavenging Ooze, Bloodbraid Elf, and Tarmogoyf. Green-Red Land Destruction is on Arbor Elf, Bloodbraid Elf, Glorybringer, 2 Forests, and 2 Windswept Heath. Joe starts off with a Forest and an Arbor Elf. I go ahead and bobble myself. Mishra's Bauble is nice in conjunction with fetch lands. It lets you decide if you want to keep the top card of your library or fetch it away. Looks to be not very good. I'll fetch it away. We have deck lists going in, so I'm going to try to fetch my basics here. I'm so used to getting shock lands that my basic forest enters tapped. I'll draw in his upkeep. Joe's going to play a Windswept Heath here. Pass the turn. Somewhere along the lines it looked like I drew a Wrenn and 6. Certainly going to Wrenn and 6 that Arbor Elf. Joe's going to search up a Stomping Ground. Six is going to uptick, get back the Verdant Catacombs. I'm going to run out of Tarmogoyf and lay the land. This is where Joe's hand can get kind of interesting. He has the Bloodbraid Elf from earlier in the game. It's going to wheel into a forest and wooded foothills and an Arbor Elf. So even though the Bloodbraid Elf has haste, it can attack into the Tarmogoyf. At this point, I believe Tarmogoyf is a 4/5. Yeah, there's the Tarmo die. Courtesy of one Joe Borders. That Arbor Elf is just more food for the Wrenn and 6. Sacrificed our fetch land here. Now, normally against green-red, I want to get my basics. I think I have another Verdant Catacombs in hand at this point, so I feel pretty safe diversifying my mana a little bit here. Also, it's also a little late for him to be holding a Blood Moon. If he had it, I feel like he probably would have played it already. He let that Stomping Ground there tapped on his 3rd turn. Kind of tells you he doesn't have the powerful 3-drop. Wrenn and 6 eats another elf. We have a pretty good view of Joe's hand here. It hasn't changed much. He's still got a Windswept Heath. Still got a Glorybringer. Yeah, it looks like Glorybringer, Lightning Bolt, Mountain, Windswept Heath. I'm going to go ahead and lay and crack a Verdant Catacombs here. This one I expect to get a basic. You can get a little greedy sometimes, but you know, I don't generally like leaning on greed too much, especially against Blood Moon decks. Jund loses to Blood Moon. We're going to spin the wheel on a Blood Moon of our own. Gives us a Lightning Bolt to destroy Joe's Bloodbraid Elf. We can start pressuring him here. We know about the Glorybringer, so it's not likely that a likely play would be for Joe, draw, play land, cast Glorybringer, attack Wrenn and 6, and exert to destroy the Bloodbraid Elf. That would reduce the amount of material I have pretty significantly. He's still probably losing the race in the long run to the Tarmogoyf, I think, with that line. Looks like we're at 17-12 here. Yeah, there's the Glorybringer. If this was a turn later and we had another land drop, or if this is next turn and he just uses the Glorybringer to attack the Wrenn and 6, it looks like he is attacking me. and destroying the Bloodbraid Elf. I think I may have just, with the Lightning Bolt in my hand, I may have just attacked the Wrenn and 6, taken the 7 on the Crackback, and then exerted and Lightning Bolted the Tarmogoyf down. I'm going to eye-okay here. There is a Blood Moon now. That explains the hesitation on Joe's turn during his last main phase. So with him at 12 and our Tarmogoyf at a 5/6 right now, we can attack with the Goyf and ping with Wrenn and 6. Oh wow, Liliana the Veil, that is a powerful magic card. We are plussing because the Glorybringer is exerted. So yeah, he's dead. Outside of the top deck, he's dead. Down to 6 now. We have 6 on board with Tarmogoyf and Wrenn and 6. And actually we have 7 with the Tarmogoyf and the Wrenn and 6. Because the minus on Wrenn and 6 would send it to the graveyard. This is our sideboard. Bringing out Scoozes for a Klothys, a Caustic Caterpillar, and a Maelstrom Pulse. I don't really know how to sideboard for this matchup. Joe is cutting some Pillages for a Relic of Progenitus and an Obstinate Baloth. I like both of those cards. I like his sideboard a lot more than mine. But I also think his deck is probably advantaged in the matchup. So this was an interesting mulligan decision. I have 2 lands, 4 spells, and a bauble. I have 3 lands, 3 spells, and a bauble. And I end up bottoming the Overgrown Tomb. The reasoning for that is my fetch lands can get my basics. I can use Mishra's Bauble to determine if I want to draw the card on top of my library or shuffle it away. And I have Wrenn and 6 and Seal of Fire and Maelstrom Pulse as removal spells. So we are certainly trying to play the control role here. So I'm definitely fetching this turn, so I shouldn't crack the bauble on myself. I'm definitely fetching to play. I bauble him, and it reveals a Blood Moon. So that secures my play of play fetch land, crack, probably get a dual land. It doesn't matter because I just need a red source. Wooded Foothills here. I have a Verdant Catacombs in hand. I would rather keep the Verdant Catacombs. They can get my 2 colors of basic lands that actually matter. And I have another bauble. Let's see if I miss one of these triggers. Nope, got that one. I'm sorry, I revealed a Bloodbraid Elf. It's a very good card. There's another Arbor Elf. And a Utopia Sprawl. If that Arbor Elf survived, he would have had a turn 2 Bloodbraid Elf into a Blood Moon, it looks like. Seal of Fire is one heck of a magic card. I think here the best play is crack for basic. If I do have the Verdant Catacombs in hand, I should crack it. I should crack the Verdant Catacombs for a basic forest. Lay the Wrenn and 6, need another elf. Probably fall over to the Blood Moon next turn. And if he has a land off the top, actually he doesn't have a land off the top. I believe he has the Blood Moon off the top. So I know I might not be getting Blood Braided this coming turn. So his situation just feels terrible. All told, everything looks relatively even, but it just feels, as a Jund player, and I'm not a great Jund player, but it feels like you're very far behind even here. They're getting ahead of you on mana. They're restricting your mana. They're casting multiple spells in a turn. If you can get to the point where you're double spelling with Jund, you're in a great spot. So, looks like we're getting Blood Mooned here, and that's fine. It's not really fine, but I don't think I could have played this differently. I don't think I could have gotten Black Source turn 1 and just allowed the Arbor Elf to be untapped. Renin 6 is going to get back a Verdant Catacombs and lay it. It is a, $40 or $50 mountain or whatever. There's a Bloodbraid Elf. It just lands flying in all directions. There's another Utopia Sprawl. That's very good. So Renin 6 is down. Oh, it is not. I'll tap my $40 mountain. When are they reprinting the fetch lands, by the way? I thought that was supposed to be happening by now. By the time this video comes out, it may have happened. I might look even sillier than the guy with 3 non-basics facing down a Blood Moon. Three, 4, 5. Here comes the Glorybringer. Just lands in all directions again. Psychopath that Joe is. So this is a big boy. There's a Seal of Fire. There's Mishra's Bauble. There's Creature, Land, Instant. That's a 6/7. So it looks like, yeah, he's going to attack, exert. He's going to attack me again, it looks like. Giving Renin 6 no respect. And Lightning Bolt the Tarmogoyf. That's 7 damage total. I would really love a basic swamp off the top here. I have the Maelstrom Pulse. I have Assassin's Trophy. I think this game, outside of draw step basic swamp, I think this game's over. Yeah, draw pass, uptick Ren. The Glorybringer can attack Ren down. And that's probably the nail in the coffin. Klothys is absolutely insane. I think every game that has gotten to the point where Joe controls both of those powerful 3-mana enchantments, I've lost. And that actually looks like a live Klothys. 1, 2 off himself, 2 off the Glorybringer, Blood Moon, and 2 Utopia Sprawls is, yeah. That's 7. Devotion to Green and Red is 7. That card is live. There's a Tarmogoyf. We can block Klothys. It's not going to matter in the long run. The triggered ability of Klothys during his main phase and getting beat down by the Glorybringer is probably going to bring this one to a pretty swift end. Exiling the Seal of Fire, that's a good play on his part. I believe that's the only enchantment in the graveyard at this point. Little flourish there, little flare. Looks like we're down to 7 here. That means with the Klothys trigger, he did not exert his Glorybringer. Looks like we are dead here, yeah. Alright, and then we'll get on to the third game. I don't think we have any more side decking to do. I think it's just shuffle. So, here we are, game 3. I should have mulliganed this hand. It was very greedy for me to keep. The Barrenmoor is not a basic swamp, and that is a cost in this game. I still like 1 Barrenmoor and 2 Nurturing Peatland. That's my utility land lineup right now. A couple of Raging Ravines, but having 3 lands to draw you a card. I'm on 4 Renin 6. I just think Renin 6 is incredible. So I lead on Barrenmoor. I did not miss my Mishra's Bauble trigger. That's good. Sometimes I miss those. Joe's going to start on Utopia Sprawl. Could be looking at Blood Moon next turn. That Utopia Sprawl name's Red. Thoughtseize here, turn 2. And this hand is, oh my goodness, that is a perfect hand. That is just about perfect. Yeah, having the mana to cast everything before the Glorybringer, and if these were the only cards he saw this game, he would be able to cast all of them. That's a pretty good spot to be when your curve goes up to 5. I don't care about Chandra. Glorybringer is fine. Klothys and Seasoned Pyromancer are really the ones I'm concerned about. And my hand is not set up to deal with Klothys at all, nor is it set up to race. So Klothys has a level of inevitability to it that I won't be able to work around. Seasoned Pyromancer is card advantage. It's definitely something worth thinking about. It improves Joe's hand potentially. He could discard Chandra and a Glorybringer and try to get some pressure. Play up to the 4th land, draw 4 CMC spell, beat in with the tokens and the Seasoned Pyromancer itself, but I think that's actually less concerning than Klothys by a lot. Klothys provides mana. It messes with my graveyard. Yeah, you got to take Klothys here. It's also nice to put an enchantment in the graveyard if you happen to ever draw a Tarmogoyf. Probably going to go Seasoned Pyromancer here. Yep. Depending on the contents of his hand, he could discard a land and either the Glorybringer or the Chandra. He's definitely pitching a land. So we did not see that Stomping Grounds last turn. I would have preferred him to discard the Wooded Foothills. It just keeps some of the information a little secret there. Yeah. I think I asked him about that play when we were shooting this game. He may want a basic forest. That could be his reasoning. I think I have drawn. I have not drawn. Okay. So we're sacrificing Verdant Catacombs in the end step here. I think we have to get a Stomping Ground. I think our mana is kind of stretched as it usually is in Jund, which is one of the reasons that Blood Moon is so good against it. It enters untapped. We just shoot the Seasoned Pyromancer. So I wouldn't mind leaving Assassin's Trophy mana up just to be able to interact with a Blood Moon. So they cast a Blood Moon, you float your mana, Blood Moon resolves before they end whatever phase they're in. You Assassin's Trophy the Blood Moon, so you get to float the mana through that. Must be something good here. We're tapping in. We're putting into play Untapped and Overgrown Tomb. It's a Klothys of our own. That's not bad. If we can stabilize here, maybe get a little bit ahead of the Glorybringer that's coming down the pipeline, we'll be able to gain some life, and that's a Bloodbraid Elf. That's not great. So I could hit a Blood Moon. That could hit another season. Pillage is very good as well. Yeah, Pillage is a beating here, for sure. Yep. So we're probably losing this race. Next turn probably involves Glorybringer. If not Glorybringer, then we might be okay. It looks like the Chandra was discarded, so we don't know too much about the contents of his hand. We know that there's still that Wooded Foothills in there, so he top decked the basic forest. I just like protecting information in your hand a little bit more than this. Klothys is going to get rid of a land. That doesn't look right. I think Klothys should probably get rid of Seasoned Pyromancer. Unless you have a use for the mana, Klothys only makes green or red. We have black and green for Assassin's Trophy up, but we're already getting beaten down by Bloodbraid Elf. If we have a third land in our hand to replace the one that got pillaged, we can use the mana from Klothys to maybe make a Bloodbraid Elf of our own. It looks like I'm already down to 9 here. Okay, yeah. I think Joe talked me into that play a little bit. This is a desperation play. Hopefully they get a forest and they don't have the 5th mana source for a Glorybringer to beat us down and kill us. We missed a land drop there. This game's probably over. Yep, there's the Wooded Foothills we know about. He's playing it very quickly, throwing it in the graveyard. I'm assuming a Bloodbraid Elf or a Chandra Torch of Defiance is on the way. Bloodbraid Elf into Blood Moon would be a fitting end. What do we got here? Spin the wheel. Come on, Joe. Keeping us all in suspense. Yep. That's beautiful. That is tremendous. I don't know if outs exist in my list right now. We were talking throughout this game a little bit about the power of Klothys and how it really is just a game-winning card in and of itself. So Klothys made a mana, made a green mana, cast Bloodbraid Elf into Liliana, so Bloodbraid into a 4-drop or a 3-drop of our own. The issue is I believe it's 7 here. So if he has a land, he still has the Glorybringer that we know about. We're just dead. We can't generate enough blockers. So we were considering plussing Liliana just to try to bait out an attack here or there, something along those lines. But we're dead on board if that happens. To the Glorybringer. We're dead on board anyway. Yep. And I'm picking up my cards as the land enters the battlefield. And it was Utopia Scroll was his extra card in hand. It was not a land. So considering Unravel the Aether as a way to fight over each other's Klothuses, that was a good match.